Hello, my name is Wendy Passmore, and I would like to share with you today the Awareness Examen prayer. I'd like to tell you a bit about it, and I'd like to also lead you through an experience of the Awareness Examen. The Awareness Examen has been used as a prayer method in the Christian community for probably centuries, originating out of the Jesuits or the Ignatian spiritual discipline. It invites us to every 24-hour, whatever the rhythm works for us in our life, to spend 10 or 15 minutes in prayerful reflection on what our 24 hours has been like in terms of where we've experienced God's grace and God's presence in very positive ways, and also where we have been challenged or where we've experienced an angst in some way in our life, whether it be in a relationship or something we've thought or felt or whatever's gone on. So often I find, as I'm a retreat director and spiritual director, we're very unreflective on our life's journey, and often we're operating out of knee-jerk reactions throughout the course of our daily life. And so this prayer invites us to be more reflective on what's happening, what our inner movements are, what our inner responses to God are, and how God has been active in the daily activity of our lives. So the first movement is to quieten ourselves in God's presence, perhaps by breathing deeply and just having a sense that we're breathing in God's love for us, and just staying in that quiet place for a few minutes that we can really center ourselves and let go of all that's bombarding us in the day. The second movement is to allow the experiences of the last 24 hours to surface, and to perhaps pick out one where you really felt a lot of inner joy or felt good about yourself, or it felt like there was a gift or a grace happening in that moment, and to stay with that and allow it to again nurture. And then the third movement is to move into again allowing the experiences of the last 24 hours to surface, and where perhaps there's been an angst in our day, or something that was not so good that happened, or a thought or feeling that we might want to process for a few minutes before God. And the fourth movement is to again enter into that quiet place, returning thanks for God's presence in our life, for God's invitations in our life, and to maybe enter, if we can, into that quiet place where there might be something else that surfaces that we need to attend to. So now I would like us to perhaps close our eyes. I'm going to close my eyes so I can too enter into the experience of this, and let us move through this awareness examen prayer. So as we quieten ourselves with our eyes closed in God's presence, we breathe in deeply, breathing in God's love for us, and just centering ourselves in God's loving embrace, in that deep sacred center where God dwells in our hearts and in our lives. And I would invite us now to reflect on the last 24 hours, and just allow all the experiences to surface, and allow one happy, wonderful, nurturing experience to come into my mind and my heart, revisiting that moment and feeling the feelings again. How did I feel God's grace and presence? Maybe through what someone said, maybe through my opportunity to give, maybe an unexpected phone call. Whatever it is, we just stay in that moment with that experience, giving thanks for it. And now I invite us to move into allowing our mind and our heart to settle into an experience that perhaps was more challenging, where there was angst. Perhaps someone said something to me. Perhaps I said something to someone else. Perhaps there was unkind thoughts. Or maybe I was just experiencing within myself some unresolved anger or hurt that was triggered by some event of the day. So I invite us to just sit with that experience, allowing God's presence to come to us. Am I needing to forgive? Am I needing healing in my heart? Am I needing to be more compassionate because really the person who hurt me is really hurting themselves? Whatever it is, we stay with that moment, asking for God's grace to come into that experience. And now we just quieten ourselves in thanksgiving to God and pray if there's anything else that we'll be open to receive it and to hear it. Offering our lives anew and afresh to God's loving care. Amen. This is a prayer practice that is encouraged to happen every day. Thank you and God bless.